Thanks, guys. How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
Thanks. How you
Good,
doing?
good, good, good. I'm glad to get a chance to spend a few minutes talking with you guys. I'll start with you, Adam. Where did you come up with this story? Because it's pretty bonkers. So how'd you come up with it?
Yeah, well, I'm a pretty bonkers guy. Basically, this comes from. I mean, it's I wrote it. Time passes, man, but I wrote it about 5 years ago initially, and where it came from. First of all, I love sci-fi. I love telling stories within that medium, that genre, and I think it does a very fascinating thing where it gives you the ability to remove yourself from current day events and look at something extrapolatively, like sort of through this lens, and maybe think about it differently. And what I was thinking about a lot at the time was a lot of frustration with how we were treating each other. The rise of this new wave of incredibly dangerous politics and disinformation and all of these things that were happening sort of 2019 through 2020, even before COVID, really. And there was a term that was bandied about a lot at that point, which was, are we living in the worst timeline? I think I started that. I really latched onto that and said, well, maybe we are, and what if we are, and what if there's intention behind that? What if that's very true? And it sort of came from there. But what was important to me was to tell a story about people dealing with something perhaps quite existential, but that it was at its core a story about people and connection.
Cara, Peter, this next question is for both of you. Like I was just telling Adam, the story is pretty bonkers. It's got lots of layers to it, levels, I guess you could say. Uh,
Uh,
when you both first read the script, was your mind blown, and that's why you wanted to get involved, or how did you feel about it? Cara, will start with you, then Peter.
yeah, I read it. Some of the action sequences made my heart race just reading it, and that is always a really good sign. I thought it was smart and full of heart. I thought it was a really exciting character to get to dig my teeth into, and different than stuff I had done before. So I was on board from that first read for sure.
Peter?
Yeah, likewise. And I just loved the idea of having these two characters in love with this sort of deep connection. One of them understanding understanding the reality they're in, and one of them having to wrap his head around the sort of unimaginable, unthinkable, which I thought was such a fun thing to try and play, while also getting to, punch and shoot guns and fly in the air and all the cool stuff. So it was great.
Well, Joe's interesting because he's kind of, he's the character I think has to deal with the most, not really understanding what his place is. Talk to me about getting into the mindset of taking on that role.
Well, I mean, I think in a sense, it's sort of, an existential question that we all wrestle with. So we're all somewhere on the spectrum of it, and Joe's is sort of amped up to 10 in this, because it's something we all deal with in our own singular reality, and trying to blow it up beyond that. What does anything mean anything if there's sort of near infinite variations on this, what I'm experiencing? But I think that's it's to take something I wrestle with and identify with as a person, and then sort of put it on a big screen scale is just so much fun.
Cara, I know, speaking for me, it's a real treat to get a chance to talk to you, and I know a lot of our readers are fans of yours from The Expanse. But I wanted to ask, have you thought about what some of the things that this movie is saying? Have you ever thought about whether or not maybe we all exist in a digital construct of some kind? Have you ever thought about stuff like that?
Oh yeah, no, of course. I love I'm a big sci-fi fan myself. I feel like you know, those kinds of questions are just so exciting to contemplate, because I think it gives us, a sense of the richness of being alive, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
what does any of it mean, and what does it matter? And then, I have two kids, and I feel like having children also then just like I've created universes. Created universes, guys. It's nuts. Like, and those universes are going to exist hopefully beyond me and thinking about, mortality and time. I love that shit. Love it.
Adam, that must make you if everybody has that kind of reaction when they see the movie, Adam, that must make you feel pretty good.
Well, that'd be great.
How did you come up with with kind of the set direction and kind of, where'd you draw from in terms of visual influence for some of the world you create here?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I'm, like I said, I'm a fan of the genre, and certainly in film, I'm a very big fan of the gamut of sci-fi and all sorts of other stuff too. I don't want to completely pigeonhole myself, but the films that I love in the genre tend to have more of a grounded feel to them. Or perhaps a heightened grounded film. It's great to say you're going for a grounded look when you have $200 million or whatever, which we certainly had $5 or so. But what was important to me, and look, I'm a big fan, for argument's sake, of Denis Villeneuve, and of course Dune is great, but I'm more referring to his earlier films where he created this sense of groundedness in characters, but there was the sense of them living in this larger, almost starkness, this world that had a lot of secrets behind every corner in its depth. And so a lot of the visual, excuse me, design came from, or thought process came from looking at films that, there's perhaps a sense of loneliness, perhaps a little bit of a sense of desolation, that sense of being in a world with lots going on, but you might be sort of alone, and how that would feel. And then, of course, bringing all of that to our team, and the art and the production design sort of injected this concept of some mid-century aesthetic and everything, which is Joe's apartment, one of the key sets in the film. And so, then it becomes very collaborative. But I initially came to it from a sense of looking for a sense of starkness and groundedness, I think would be the best way to put it.
Is that why we shot in Winnipeg?
Exactly. No.
Hey.
Well, also
Sorry,
very cold.
Winnipeg. Love you.
I think that's a good place for us to stop. The Levels, I think, opens on November 1st here. And I wish you guys the best of luck. Thank you, all three of you, for giving a few minutes to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.